It's Tuesday, December something, and Christmas Day in Florida. I'm still waiting for the sun to come out. We had a lot of fog this morning, and it's still burning off. Not too shabby, though. Are we having fun yet? Guess so. Anyway, got some prezzies over here to play with. Some of them are for the cats. Blackie, who is supervising. And yes, you too. Now the sacrificial beast for the occasion. A nice little 4-pound boneless pork loin, which I am about to properly sacrifice. It's been, of course, washed, patted dry, and informed of its doom. Now, first thing to do is brush it with a little bit of EVOO. And turn it fat side up for roasting it. Alrighty. Now I've been playing with some new herb blends that I got from Lionheart Spices. This one is smoked herb and garlic rub, which I'm going to coat this thing generously with. Smelling good already. Pat it in. And for grins, I'm going to throw in a little of their lemon and rosemary. Just to see what I can do with it. And to top it off, what better than bacon? Well, if we're going to sin, we do it right. I think a few slabs of this should help to keep it nice and moist inside. Thusly. And now we'll drop this into a 350-degree oven for an hour or so. Bye. As always, there's a package here that's just for the cats. The twerp already seems to like it. You think we should unwrap it first? No? Let's do this. Having trouble unwrapping it? And meanwhile, a very mysterious little package that came in from Rock the other day. Oh. Absolutely gorgeous. Hand knitted, no less. And although I think they're supposed to be dishcloths, there's not a snowball's chance in hell either one of them will ever touch dishwater. Beautiful Rock, thank you. The detail in this stitching is just amazing. Now I'm making beer bread, which takes 3 cups of self-rising flour. And since I never use self-rising flour, I've actually got 2 cups of bread flour and a cup of whole wheat, and I'm going to turn it into self-rising flour with a tablespoon and a half of baking powder, 2 to 3 cups of flour, and a half a tablespoon of sea salt, or salt, take your pick. And we whisk those together. And we now have self-rising flour. Now to make the beer bread, I take my 3 cups of homemade self-rising flour, add 3 tablespoons of sugar. I'm using raw turbinado sugar because I like it. And we have to sacrifice 1 12-ounce beer. This is painful, but worth it. Last drops, come on out. Okay, mix this all together. This is probably easier done with an electric mixer, but I'm too lazy to get mine out. And we have a reasonably uniform dough. It's actually something between a batter and a soft dough. Dump it into a loaf pan. Smush it down. Get it all over your fingers. and stick it in a 350-degree oven for about 25 minutes. Now the roasted Brussels sprouts are just about as easy as it gets. Wash them, slice them in half, take off any dead leaves, put them in a little roasting pan, drizzle them with some EVOO, then sprinkle them with salt generously, and a generous amount of cracked black. And because I want to, just a very light dusting of garlic powder. That's not in the original recipe. And toss them together. Stick them in a 410-degree oven for about 10 minutes. Then stir them, put them back in for another 10 minutes. And for the twice-baked sweet potatoes, bake them at 400 degrees for about 45 minutes until they're thoroughly done. Slice them open. I'm supposed to let them sit and cool off for a while, but I'm not that patient right now. So they're still slightly warm. And now we scoop out most of the insides. Leaving an outer shell of potatoes still in there. And now, down here, pay attention. We mix in about 2 tablespoons of butter. Go out of there. And hope the potatoes are still hot enough to soften it. And 4 tablespoons or so of sour cream. Get in there. And 3 or 4 tablespoons of brown sugar. About that much. Mix this all thoroughly together. And then, back up here, we put it all back in the shells, except we put them on a pan first. Straighten up now. Yum. And any of this that won't fit is mine. Yum. And they go back in the oven for about 20 minutes. Except we put the honey and almond topping on them first. Now that's about a half a cup of almonds. And since I didn't have a half a cup of almonds, I added some cashews, flogged them to death in the Ninja, and about 2 tablespoons of honey, a pinch of salt. Heat this up and stir it all together. Yum. Back in the oven at 375 for about 20 minutes until they're just nicely browned on top. After an hour and a half, the roast is done and looking pretty good. And there's some yummy looking juices in there to make some gravy with. And it's time. Those pan juices made a really nice gravy. And it's time to dig in and commit piggery. The roast beast, which came from over yonder. The twice baked sweet potatoes. Roasted Brussels sprouts. Beer bread. And beer. Merry Christmas!